Quite often, we can rewrite a subquery using a join and vice versa. For example, here's the query that we wrote as part of the exercise in the last lecture. So here we are selecting the client without invoices. Now we're going to rewrite this, but instead of using a subquery, we're going to use a join. So we want to select all the clients, and then we want to join these clients with the invoices table. Now, earlier you learned that we have two types of joins, inner joins and outer joins. If we do an inner join, we'll only get the clients who have an invoice. If we do an outer join, or a left join more accurately, we'll get all the clients whether they have an invoice or not. So as you can see, we can rewrite a subquery using a join and vice versa. So which approach should you use? Well, that depends on a couple of things. One is performance and the other is readability. Later in the course, we talk about execution plans, so you will learn how to write a query that gets executed faster. But assuming that both these queries have the same execution time, you should go for the query that is most readable. In this particular example, the first query is more intuitive because it better aligns with the problem you're trying to solve. Find clients without invoices. So you're finding clients who don't have an invoice. Understanding this query is easier. So left join here is a little bit of distraction from our problem. But this is not always the case. Sometimes you will see that using a subquery can make your query too complex, and in those cases, it's better to use a join. So always pay great attention to the readability of your code. All right, here's a great exercise for you to practice what you learned in this tutorial. In our SQL Store database, write a query to find the customers who have ordered lettuce. And as you remember, the ID of lettuce is 3. In your select statement, select customer ID, first name, and last name. Now we can solve this problem using both a subquery and a join. So as part of this exercise, I want you to come up with both solutions and pick the one that is more readable. You will see my solution next. All right, first I'm going to solve this problem using a subquery. So I want to select everything from the customers table where customer ID in. Now here in the subquery, we need to return the ID of customers who have ordered lettuce. So we need to go to our order items table, select everything from order items where product ID equals to 3. Now in this table, we don't have the customer ID. So we need to join this table with the orders table to get the customer ID. Let's give it an alias and then join it with the orders table using the order ID column. And then instead of selecting everything, we select o.customer ID. So this is how we solve this problem using a subquery. Now let's execute our query. We should get these 3 customers, number 8, 2, and 10. Beautiful. Now I'm going to solve this problem using a join. So I'm going to join the customers table with the orders table and then order items. Then we'll filter and get only the records where product ID equals to 3. So I'm going to open up a new query window. Here we're going to select everything from the customers table, do a join with the orders table using customer ID, and one more join with the order items table using the order ID column. Now we want to apply a filter. So where order item dot product ID equals to 3, let's execute our query, see what we get. Note that because customer number 2 has ordered lettuce twice, this record is duplicated here. We don't want duplication, right? So here, instead of selecting everything, we do a distinct of customer ID, and then we'll pick the first name and last name columns. Let's execute the query one more time. All right. Now we have the same result as before. Now, actually, I made a mistake in my first query. So instead of selecting everything here, we should select customer ID, first name, and last name. That doesn't really matter. Now, compare this query with this other query. In my opinion, the second query is more readable. It's more meaningful because there is a natural relationship between customers, orders, and order items. So in situations like that, quite often we use joins. And here our filter clearly explains what customers we are looking for. Customers who have bought product number 3. So I personally pick the second solution over the first one.